Well, boys, Nintendo's being sued. And I think that this is a pretty good thing, in my humblest of opinions. So, this has to do with the whole Nintendo bricking consoles thing. In my personal opinion, a company should never be allowed to brick a console or anything that you purchase for any reason. They have every single right to ban people from their online services, to disallow people from using their proprietary services. But when you purchase a console, let's be real here, you own that console. If Nintendo gets away with this, what's to stop, say, an air conditioning company who makes AC units from just deciding one day that they're just going to brick your AC unit and you just can't use it anymore? I mean, it's absolutely absurd, okay? And I think anybody with a brain can understand that. This whole thing is just absolutely absurd. So for the main portion of this video, we're going to refer to a Game Rant article about this exact issue. Brazilian agency formally notifies Nintendo over console bricking EULA clause. Nintendo's end-user license agreement tied to the Nintendo Switch 2 console has reportedly been deemed abusive by a Brazilian consumer protection agency over the company's ability to permanently disable the Switch 2 units of users who Nintendo has found to have violated the contract. The agency has reportedly put the company on official notice over its Nintendo Switch 2 policies, which it claims violate Brazilian consumer protection laws. Following the console's worldwide launch on June 5th, sales of the Nintendo Switch 2 broke historic records, nearly tripling the day one sales of PlayStation 4 units set in 2013, according to insider estimates. Exact sales figures related specifically to Brazil are unclear, but demand has obviously been high, as available units sold out 2 days ahead of the console's launch, as reported by Nintendo Soup. While the popularity of the Nintendo Switch 2 is evident in Brazil, some of the provisions and its end-user license agreement have reportedly caught the attention of Procon SP, the Sao Paulo, sorry if I butchered that name, based branch of Brazil's Consumer Protection and Defense Program, as pointed out by Technoblog. Nintendo maintaining the ability to terminate user accounts and render its consoles permanently inoperable without giving a valid reason is its violation of the nation's Consumer Protection Code, Section 8.078/90, which under its own language, quote, seeks to meet consumer needs and respect their dignity, health, and safety, to protect their economic interests, to improve their quality of life, and to ensure transparency and harmony between consumer relations. Another supposed legal clash reportedly raised by Procon SP is the EULA's provision prohibiting customers from filing lawsuits against Nintendo. Nintendo has maintained that the provisions in question, which were added about a month before the Switch 2's launch, were put in place as anti-piracy measures. Nintendo warned players it could brick their Switch or Switch 2 consoles if any unauthorized modding had been detected, and the nondescript language used in the EULA was likely put in place as a catch-all that could avoid technical loopholes that potential pirates could use to sidestep any specific regulations. The official notification had reportedly been sent to Nintendo on June 26, 2025, and reports state that Nintendo has agreed to officially respond to Procon SP's legal concerns within 20 days of that date. Meanwhile, the license agreement's language has caused other problems in the used console market, as consumers have been warned against buying used Switch 2 consoles due to the possibility of Nintendo having already rendered them permanently inoperable. So for the people who don't quite understand what's happening, Nintendo is currently reserving the right to completely destroy your console from the inside, and there's absolutely nothing you can do to fix it if you are caught using any quote-unquote modification. Now, the reason that this is a major issue is because a modification can be something as small as using an SD card that Nintendo did not brand and package themselves. So for it to be something that makes actual sense, they need to clear up the language used within the end user license agreement. They need to specifically state modification of software, because modification of hardware could be anything from, as I said, a micro SD card that Nintendo didn't put out. I mean, if you put in a Samsung micro SD card, are they going to break your console? If you use third-party Joy-Cons, what's going to happen? So this is the main issue that people are having with this situation, is that the language just isn't clear enough. Now, my main problem is, in my opinion, when you purchase a console for $500, you own that physical console, and anything that could potentially render that console inoperable should never exist within the hardware or the software in any capacity ever. Period. As I stated before at the beginning of this video, it is Nintendo's own prerogative whether they want to ban people from their online services, but when you are rendering a console completely inoperable, that is a problem. That has to break some kind of laws somewhere in the world. As we've shown here, obviously it does in Brazil. Now, Brazil isn't the only country. I'm going to make a very valid effort over the next few days to scrub through United States consumer law, and I will post an update video if I find anything. However, I'm sure there probably isn't anything in terms of specifically stating video games. But essentially, the point I'm getting at here is I'm not going to support Nintendo anymore, and to each their own, truly. If you want to support Nintendo, I'm not telling you not to. I'm just simply stating I refuse to at this point. This is too far. This is inarguable. This is a violation of our rights as consumers. Because again, as I stated, what happens if you use a third-party piece of external technology? What happens if you use third-party Joy-Cons or a third-party SD card? The language in their EULA, their end user license agreement, kind of allows them to ban you for that and break your console. Because it doesn't clearly state specifics, and that is the true problem. That is the true core of this issue. But before this video drags on too long, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. If I got anything wrong, let me know down in the comments section below. And like and subscribe. It very much helps me out in the long run. We're getting pretty close to monetization on this channel, so please, if you can, just drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscribe. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you all.